Memory is the axis of history, a marvelous thing. It guides us and helps us to remedy for our mistakes of the past. It only takes one moment to forget this lesson, and we make the same mistakes over and over again. Just because we remember the tragedies of humanity, we acknowledge them, and at least try to make sure they never happen again. One of the darkest spots in human history is the Holocaust. This plague of 20th century took 6 million innocent lives just because of who they were. We want to believe that people got lost in a fog of oblivion, and when they woke up, the acknowledgement of their mistakes was stronger than a thunderstrike. The memory of these events had to be passed through generations to our days. Therefore, I went back to my homeland, Riga, where the Holocaust has left an incurable scar, and tried to discover how the memory of the catastrophe can stay alive and the sounds of sirens shall never be silenced.
For 50 years, people didn't know anything about, certainly not about Auschwitz, and very little about the Holocaust. It's only since the subjects come into the schools that there's been more awareness, and the government is very, very keen for us to do this in the schools for many reasons, but one of it is of course, racism, and unless people understand what happens in racial discrimination, they don't know how to protect themselves. So I always think it's a way of protecting people in the future, because we don't know what's going to happen. And people need to be aware and need to be vigilant, because, like I said before, it can happen anytime, any place, to anybody. Okay, it happened to me, but it could happen equally to you. You don't know.
Такое событие, я считаю, что оно должно остаться не только у евреев, оно именно остаться у всех, потому что на самом деле зверства немцев были направлены не только против евреев. Ведь Прибалтика как такова по идеологии Гитлера существовать не должны были. Так. Ведь такой Латвии, вот когда задаешь латышам этот вопрос, русские не оккупировали, значит, были бы оккупации немцев. Что вас ждало? Не знают. А вы должны были почитать, между прочим, книгу Майкав, где точно и ясно сказано, никакой Латвии нету. Есть Остланд на территории Прибалтики. Народы местные должны быть использованы для заселения в России. То есть их должны были выслать не так, как русские выслали там, сколько там тысяч человек, а большинство населения должны были, а здесь должны были заселять немцами. Почему об этом молчат? Вот об этом надо было более широко оповещать, чтобы знали. А это же направлено против всех народов, не только против евреев. И я думаю, что когда они поймут, что немцы хотели делать с ними, то у них было бы другое отношение к Холокосту.
One might ask, what is the truth and where to look for it? Nothing screams louder than a place filled with silence that shall never be broken. Riga Ghetto, now a ghetto museum, is a place where 30,000 Jews have fallen victim to the Holocaust.
Мы знаем, что сейчас в мире существуют и не только люди, но и целые, так сказать, организации, которые пытаются отрицать Холокост или уменьшают количество погибших в этой страшной трагедии евреев всего мира. Была, так сказать, операция под названием «Большой обман», и мы не можем себе даже представить и тех эмоций, которые охватывали людей, оказавшихся зимой, или поздней осенью и зимой 41-42 годов в холодной зимней Риге, заснеженной, морозной, в то время как перед отправкой им якобы ставили в паспорта визы в Бразилию, в Индию и подобные, так сказать, направления. Вот эти палачи, которые фотографируются, улыбаясь на рижском перроне Рижского вокзала, железнодорожного вокзала. Это машинист, который вез жертв Холокоста, будущих сюда в Ригу. Ну и здесь вы видите хронику, как их отправляли и депортировали с разных вокзалов. И, конечно же, списки вот этих людей, здесь обрывки, такие символические списки тех, кого депортировали.
Italy, Israel, Netherlands, Sweden, Finland, Berlin, Bremen, England, Australia, Korea, America.
Конечно же, Израиль, Германия, Великобритания, Россия, Украина, Белоруссия, из Латинской Америки. То есть география самая-самая обширная, и я думаю, не каждый музей может похвастаться. Летом сюда очень часто приезжают целыми автобусами с паромов, которые приходят в Ригу. Вот. Очень много бывает школьников, бывает молодежи, бывает людей разного возраста. И это, конечно же, радует нас тем, что мы избрали правильный путь, и память о таких трагедиях, которые не должны повториться, она получает адресного посетителя. На стенах никаких обоев не было. Были газеты, которыми обклеивались. И газеты эти самые настоящие. Это газеты 20-30-х годов. Купленные были, не знаю, в антиквариатах. И обклеены так вот, как это... Вы видите, как это выглядело.
Если бы народ был ознакомлен с истинными положениями дел, а не враньем, которое мы часто слушаем, конечно, положение было бы другое. Оно было бы более справедливое или более сдержанное и более разумное. Потому что правда все-таки это самый надежный способ, как воспитывать людей и как убеждать этих людей.
After the Holocaust, as I again understood, I read, I heard, it's like the people who came to Israel after the Holocaust, so the people in Israel looked at them as if they were losers. Like, why didn't you protect yourself? How did you let this happen to you? Like, you're all these weak people, you know, and that's why you were slaughtered like sheep. You know, this is the most, that's a real tragedy. The people who actually lived through it and survived, and then the welcome they got was, well, let's say in Israel at that time, they just won the independence war, and, and we're strong, and we're protecting ourselves, so no, this is, this is really serious. It's serious, and it's part of history, and it has to be clear, why did it happen, and how they did not have a choice, and whoever did have a choice fought, but mostly they were really doomed.
Holocaust is an unspeakable horror, unimaginable. Through art, people try to capture and recreate the memories and emotions for those who went through this. Cinema is a very strong and yet a very controversial art method to depict the history. Indeed, we cannot accurately show what the victims felt. Those who saw gas cameras have long left this world. Words are never enough, they are meaningless. What role then does cinema play in preservation of those memories?
Film o Schindleре, он служит разоблачению экстремизма. Дальше такой Шиндлер был такой Шиндлер. В Аушвице нам рассказывали, ну, я не был там, где этот его завод, рассказывали, где его завод стоял, я представляю все об этом. И он спас более 1000 людей, правда?
It's Hebrew from the Talmud. It says, whoever saves one life saves the world entire.
Человечность не погасла тогда и не исчезла, несмотря на ужасы Холокоста. И оставляет этот показ какую-то надежду, что человечество никогда не было мракобесной на 100%. Никогда. Эти местные профашистские и другие криминальные группы, они ускорили, они помогли немцам ускорить этот процесс своим участием. Это очень сложно показать. Тут без всякой фальши надо показать это, как это случилось. Сегодня вот показать эту правоту в полной мере.
I guess that's the purpose of the film, to show that even when things are, when you see injustice, don't just talk about it, don't cry about it, do something. And he did what he was able to do, so that was very special. Obviously it was difficult to watch because it was very graphic, and I've read a lot of books on the Holocaust, a lot of that I did do. A lot of stories, a lot of books, and when you actually see it, it's, it becomes all of a sudden real. This is, this really happened. It was really that bad. So obviously it was gory and very, very difficult. I wouldn't show the film to my children. It's not something that I think is important. The reason I said I wouldn't show it to my children is because there's a lot of things that I don't want my kids to be exposed to. Like the Rebbe mentioned, the world is a jungle. I don't have to bring my kids into the jungle. The jungle is there, and they'll hit it. It's not something that I want to bring them to. So we are open to the world. It's just my kids know that that's the world, and we have something special, holy, and pure, and and we have the truth, and we don't have to look somewhere else. So me personally, when I saw this film, something like maybe very silly bothered me. I mean, the guy, he's standing by the window and he's shooting Jews just for fun, right? And then he goes to the toilet, and this is also shown like in full. So I guess maybe the idea was seeing, like, for him, there's no difference. I'm shooting people, I'm going to the toilet. It's like, I do what I want. Like, it's very natural. Everything is very natural. But for me, it was disgusting because, why do I want to see a man going to the toilet? Like, what are you showing me? And like for me, again, because I don't see films. I don't watch television. So I'm not exposed to these things, and I don't want to be exposed to these things. And I had a teacher in school who was a Holocaust survivor. He was a young boy, and he told us his story, how he survived. And he tells a story of he was shopping in the Upper East Side. It was before Shabbos. He wanted to buy a shirt. And he came to the store, and it was already late, and he told the guy, it's getting late. I have to get home before Shabbos, so I'll come back next time, and I'll buy the shirts next time. And the guy said, "You actually keep Shabbos?" And he rolled up his arm and he showed his number. After living through the Holocaust, how could you keep Shabbos? Where was God when the Holocaust was happening? So what did my teacher do? He rolled up his arm and he showed his number, and he said, if you lived through the Holocaust, how could you not keep Shabbos? How could you not believe in God? And that was his message, is yes, we don't understand the tragedy that God allowed to happen, but every person who survived is a walking miracle. And miracle after miracle after miracle of, it could have been, it should have been, but I went here and not there, and that's why I'm alive. And that's the stories that I I like to read, and that's the truth.
Whether Jewish or Christian, Hindu or Muslim, we should find the will to remember this tragedy, as it is addressed not just to one nation, but the entire humanity. The choice is ours: cinema, books, museums. Neither of them can show the Holocaust. They can, however, teach about it, when one day there will be nobody else left to tell their stories. In his Oscar acceptance speech, For Life is Beautiful, one of the best films about the Shoah, Robert Benigni says,
I would like to dedicate this prize to those, because the subject of my movie, those who are not here, they gave their life in order we can say life is beautiful.
No matter how many decades have passed since Shoah, as long as we can still honor and pass these memories, the sacrifice of 6 million lives will not be vain.